Andy, today sees a break from the league campaign for a tough trip in the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. You know, it's a great competition, and we've got a team here who are playing pretty well in their division, so we've got to be on our game today, but it gives us a break from the league, and we've had a good week in training, so we're looking forward to the game.
What sort of different challenge are you going to expect today from the Crusaders compared to the ins and outs of the league?
Yeah, well, they've kept a very similar team to last year, so we know a little bit about them. But I remember last year, I wasn't here, but they played a very tough game here last year, and they've got a decent side and they like to throw the ball around, so we're expecting them to be a bit carefree and put us under some pressure on our edges, and they'll be a tough team. But if we look after the ball and we kick on from last week, I think we should be all right. And we've brought Matt James back in, a couple of injuries, so Matt James has come back in and Remy Margine's come back in, and we're hoping that they can do the job as well. What's the news on James Mendika, again named in the squad but not making the 17? Yeah, he's just he's waiting for his chance. He's a back, and some of the backs are playing pretty well, and a lot of the guys who played last week held their own and have kept the place. Will James get a chance in the coming weeks? Well, I'm sure he will. He'll have to wait for it, and when he gets it, he'll need to take it, because there's quite a few players looking for the same sort of spots, and probably outside backs is where we're strongest at the moment. Any other injury news coming into today's match? Just Jamie Corning and Sam Irwin both got bicep injuries, so they're both missing the game. Hopefully they're not too serious. Jamie trained during the week but couldn't finish training on Thursday, so we've had to leave him out. So hopefully not too serious, and they'll be back next week. Looking ahead to this match, a local referee as well, do you think that'll have an effect on the match, or just will concentrating on your own performance? Yeah, I don't know. We had him last year, and I'm sure referees do what they do, and he's pretty good at his job, so I think I'm not sure it'll make much difference. We're concentrating on our discipline again. I thought we were good last week, and helped us massively in that second half. So if we can be disciplined and keep the penalty count down, which some of it's down to us, not just the referee, I think we'll be all right. How important is it to execute the chances that you get today? Yeah, massive. The first half last week, I thought we had a couple of good chances and didn't. Would have made the game a lot different. It's important we, this Challenge Cup, if we get, in kicking distance, we might take the two. It's about getting in the next round. Andy, thanks for your time. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Glendy University Stadium here in Wrexham, the racecourse ground for today's Challenge Cup 5th round match between the North Wales Crusaders and the Featherstone Rovers. Quick rundown of the team news for the Crusaders. First of all, at fullback is number 1, Tommy Johnson. In the 3/4, number 5 is Rob Massam. Number 3 is Christian Rowitz. Number 17, Stuart Reardon. And number 21 is Ian Mort. In the half-backs, number 26, Craig White. Number 7 is Jamie Dallimore. In the front row is number 16, Joe Burke. Number 9 is Callum Wright, and number 8 is Johnny Walker. In the second row, number 23 is Mark Hobson, and number 12 is Stephen Wild, and number 13 loose forward is Gary Middlehurst. On the interchange bench for the Crusaders, number 14 is Carl Ashrell, number 10 is Ryan Duffy, number 20 is Elliot Davis, and number 27 is Andrew Joy. 3 changes to the Rovers lineup from last time out, all in the forwards. At full-back though for Rovers, number 21 is Jai Hitchcocks. 3/4 is As You Were at Batley last week. Number 5 is Ben Blackmore. Number 1 is Ian Hardman. Number 4, Thomas Minns. And number 2 is Will Sharp. So As You Were last week in the Hearts as well. Number 6 is Paul Seitz. And number 7 is Gareth Moore. In the front row, number 8, Jordan Baldwinson, and number 9, Andy Ellis. And coming in for Andy Bostock, who drops their bench, is number 17, Matt James. Change in the second row as well, sees Alex Foster coming in for the injured Jamie Cording, and he will partner Rennie May Tour. And in the loose forward for Rovers, in for Jack Bussey, who also drops their bench, is number 13, Tim Spears. On the bench for Rovers, number 31 is Remy Marginet. Number 16, Andy Bostock. Number 15 is Jack Bussey. And number 24 is Mason Tonks.
this afternoon. Number 14.
Rovers have made 5 trips down to the Crusaders since 2006. They've lost 3 and lost 1. Their only victory coming down here last year when they came out victorious by 36 points to 6 after it only being 6-all at half time. Joe, what sort of match are we expecting today?
Well, it's a Challenge Cup game, and that means anything can happen, Ben. Without a doubt, Rovers come here as favourites, but the Crusaders and their fans will be hoping for the win and hoping to cause a big upset. Will they be inspired by the actions we've seen already in this round? I mean, you had Lee beating Salford, so why can't the Crusaders do it against the Rovers?
It's going to be a different type of challenge what we've had in the league so far. Been a tough start to the league with some difficult fixtures and results, especially at home. But this is a different type of challenge altogether.
Absolutely. Like we say, we're going into this game as favourites, and that can be difficult for a side that's been going into a couple of games recently, perhaps as the underdogs. But we'll be hoping to put in a dominant performance and perhaps carry some momentum through into our league form from this, get ourselves going with a good win here today. But we're facing a Crusaders side. They're doing well in League One already. Just started that competition and they're in the final of the iPro Sports Cup. They're going to be there at the Summer Bash with us on that first day. Also, you've got to take into account that they're a very settled side, Rovers, with a lot of new players. You've seen that we've not quite started to gel. Maybe that has come more to fruition in recent weeks, but those partnerships need to develop a bit more for the Rovers. The Crusaders, they all know each other's runs. That could pose a danger today.
Indeed it could. Rovers have played Crusaders 9 times down the years. A record of 1-5 and lost 4, so it's a very tight record so far. And form goes out to the window in these games, doesn't it?
Yeah, in a Challenge Cup game, you can't take form into account. It's about who turns up on the day. You've got to take into account, of course, that this is a newly formed North Wales Crusaders side as opposed to the Celtic side, and that had significant backing, so we're facing a very different proposition today, but I do like the more stable footing of this club. Back to today's game though, you look at the Rovers side, you're perhaps disappointed with some of the injuries, particularly Jamie Cordin. He's been superb in recent weeks, and him out with a bicep injury will be a big blow to this Rovers side.
Certainly will, and Rovers of course missing Paul Wood as well after picking up that injury last time out. How big a blow will that be to Rovers?
Definitely. We saw last week we were low in the props, and Paul Wood's been absolute top class since he's come to the Rovers this season. He has so much experience to the side. He's got a real nous. He knows when to flick the ball on, but he knows when to keep hold of it, and his defensive work rate is superb for a player in the twilight of his career.
Here come the Rovers onto the field here at the Racecourse Stadium. 6 ever presence in the Rovers team this year. Some of these names, when I heard them, did surprise me. Paul Sykes has not missed a game since the Hunslet match, along with Jordan Baldwinson, Andy Bostock, Joy Hitchcox, Will Sharp and Alex Foster as well, all ever present. When you think of the disruption we've had in the team as well, it's quite a big thing for Rovers to have so many players ever present.
Exactly, and you'll hope that some of those players will start to develop partnerships. We've had Gaz Moore now come back from injury, so hopefully he can develop a partnership with Sykes in the halves. Another player who was ever present up until today, of course, was Sam Irwin. But now Irwin's missing out. Remy Marginet is going to get his chance. This could be a huge game for him. If he has an impressive display today, could get himself back in this team.
Indeed, and here come the Crusaders. Today's match referee is from Pontefract. Bit of an interesting choice of referee. Whether Mr. Merrick has travelled down himself all the way down to Wales with the Rovers. Looks like Rovers are going to get first use of the ball, playing from left to right as you look on the DVD. Here is that kick-off from Dallimore. It's going to be taken easily enough by Sykes, and here is that first drive from the ever-present Baldwinson. What's up? Where can we expect the threats from today for the Crusaders?
Well, you look particularly in the centre, Stuart Reardon and Christian Roberts. They're both players with plenty of experience, so without a doubt they're going to pose a threat out wide. However, Patton not being involved in today's game because he's been a dual registration player from Warrington, the young standoff, who's been very important to the Crusaders side early this season. So he'll be a big blow to them. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt in the halves.
Here is Rennie 2 and now on the Rovers, on the Crusaders 40, sorry. Rovers on the last tackle now, 38 metres from the Crusaders line. Here could be that first kick from Moore. It gives the ball some air. Here's a test for Dallimore early. He put that one down, but I think he was facing his own line, so Mr. Merrick happy enough with that one. A good early kick though from Gareth Morchow, puts the pressure on the Crusaders.
Definitely had a real spiral. We've come upfield well there and we've put a kick, made sure we've got good kick pressure on it. It causes the ball to go to ground. On another occasion that bounces to a Rovers play and win with an early try.
Here are the Crusaders now then. It's Callum Wright at in half-back. Moves the ball into centre field now. Just inside their own 40 then, Crusaders, right weights. They'll move this ball out to this left-hand side. Through the hands it goes. It's Craig White in possession now. And here's going to be the kick from Dallimore. It's a good high kick. It's under pressure for Will Sharp. It's a good take. And Will Sharp moves it on to Jai Hitchcox. Two-thirds of a really dangerous back three Rovers have got this year, causing a lot of problems for teams. And another good high kick from Dallimore, and he's going to be key to the Crusaders today.
Yeah, definitely. His kicking game's going to be important. They want to keep Rovers at bay and at our end of the field. Our back three, though, they could have a huge impact today. They've been superb. It's a very wide pitch. But unfortunately last week the conditions just weren't there for them. The turf is fantastic here at the racecourse ground. So yeah, it's perfect conditions for them.
Andy Ellis went from Max in half-back, so more now. Here's going to be another high kick from Sykes. Putting the pressure up again, that's a good jump from Hardman. Here's Blackmore, it's still the last, so he moves it back inside again. Hitchcox will dab a kick through, that's a good kick from Hitchcox. Crusaders are going to get caught. What a kick that was! Jai Hitchcox with a drubber kick through, and Rovers able to trap the Crusaders and force an early dropout.
Very clever kick from Jai. Manages to hold up just enough, but it still runs into your in goal, meaning we can force a dropout. What was so important about that though was the way he chased his own kick and was able to put the Crusaders under pressure.
That dropout taken from Will Sharp just inside his own half with 20 metres to run into. That's a great return from Will Sharp. Gets Rovers up to the 30, centre field. Here's Tim Spears now. Gets Rovers up to the 20. Tackles in hand and Rovers already on the Crusaders 20. Sykes now takes on the line, but there's well wrapped up there by Johnny Walker. Spears to Moore now. Moore out the back to Rennie Maytua, dancing through a gap. Try scored on debut last week. Howard love another one today. Here's Moore now. Drops that pass off to Matt James on the charge. It's going to be held up a metre short. That's the last tackle, says Mr. Merrick. Ellis finds Moore again now. Moore has time for a kick. It's a good kick for Hardman to chase. What a good save that was for the Crusaders by Rob Massam. A superb take under pressure from Hardman, and he was in his own in-goal area, so a relieving tap on the 20 for the Crusaders.
Good defensive display there from the home side. They managed to hold out from that dropout. Rovers forced to repeat set. You do wonder if that kick in behind was wise. They've got a tap on the 20 and they've been able to relieve the pressure. Maybe a grubber along the floor like Hitchcox's on that first attempt would have been better suited.
Maybe so. The Crusaders though now in the Rovers half. We've still got tackles in hand in this set. Maytour in the tackle. It's worked down that right hand side with Stephen Weil. Rovers have come up with it. It's Gareth Moore's away for the corner. Gareth Moore is over. Gareth Moore gets the first points for the Rovers. The ball went to ground from the Crusaders. Gareth Moore still had so much work to do. Able to pace away left wing, outpacing the Crusaders winger, and able to get over as tight to the touchline. A perfect start for the Rovers. Crusaders 0, Featherstone Rovers 4.
Superb there from Gareth Moore. North Wales are moving the ball out wide to the right, and Gareth Moore comes away with it, and there was no catching him, was there? He showed a clean pair of heels there, and he races away to put it down in the left corner. Fantastic start for the Rovers.
So Gareth Moore then will be attempting to convert his own kick, just the start Rovers will have wanted, and Andy Hay as well. Within the first 10 minutes, Rovers are over for points. It's Gareth Moore pacing away down that left-hand touchline, able to get the ball over. So a dream start for the Rovers. And he will now be attempting to convert his own try. Gareth Moore, 93 career goals before today. So if another 7 goals will see him pass 100. So a prolific kicker for Gareth Moore, and he will love to get that 100 today and put Rovers through to the next round, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. Players look for these personal milestones, particularly goal kickers and point scorers. You know, they want to be up there. They want to look back on their career with pride. That kick unsuccessful, but let's hope he has plenty more opportunities today. So
the goal is unsuccessful, so Rovers hold a 4-point lead. 8 minutes gone in the first half here then. It's North Wales Crusaders 0, Featherstone Rovers 4.
North Wales now the home side, then how do they react to this? That's going to be really important in this game. Rovers score another try quickly and the game could soon be coming away from the home side. Baldwinson, what a great drive on the first tackle.
Indeed, Baldwinson then takes that tackle, plays the ball to Andy Ellis. It's worked down this right hand side now. Rovers trying to work out now from their own 20-metre area. Sykes now finds Tim Spears. Through the hands it goes now, Maytua out to that left hand side. Minns is away. It's Thomas Minns' turn. Minns has got Andy Ellis in support. Oh, what a fantastic try for Featherstone Rovers. It was superb hand play through the hands of Moore. Found its way to Maytua. Maytua finding Minns. Minns able to break through the tackle. A great break it was as well. He had Andy Ellis in support. And Rovers able to get over again. This kick will be a lot easier for Gareth Moore. North Wales Crusaders 0, Featherstone Rovers 8.
Superb play there. We work the ball out to the left, and Maytua showing his ball handling abilities there. That's exactly what we've wanted from someone in the pack, someone who's going to take it up to the line and look for the pass. They don't know what to do, these North Wales Crusaders players, when they're coming up against Maytua. He's got such a dangerous offload. He's got such a dangerous pass, but that handoff, if you come up against him one-on-one, he's going to beat through you every time. Gets the ball out to Minns. It's a fantastic step through the line, and he's got pace to burn. Then Andy Ellis backing up on the inside. We've needed that. At the beginning of the season, Lee showed that in abundance when they came to our place. Gareth Moore successful with the kick there, puts us 10 points in front. Lee, huge on their supporting play, and that really cost us early on in the season. Rovers now starting to show their supporting play more and more.
Indeed, so that conversion is successful. North Wales Crusaders 0, Featherstone Rovers 10. And we're seeing signs in the opening 10 minutes, especially here today, Joe. Rovers are starting to gel as a team. They're getting the understanding between the players as well.
Absolutely. We're far more purposeful in attack. You can see that there's ideas in the team. We're not stumbling from one play to the next. There seems to be a plan of action about how we're going to go about things, and we're prepared when going forward in attack.
Here is Matt James now, gets Rovers up to the 40. So Rovers making good yards again on this set. talking to Andy Hay before the match, said discipline was key. Also ball retention. Rovers there losing that ball in possession. In fact, a penalty's been given for holding down. So Rovers on a roll with 2 quick tries in the first 10 minutes. And now Crusaders, their own worst enemy, giving Rovers field position.
Definitely, it's got to be worrying for the home fans. The game quickly going away from North Wales, and they're yet to have a significant period of possession in this game.
Here's Moore now. Moore to Baldwinson, ever present this year. He's been a solid battering ram for Rovers so far this season. Really impressed on loan from the Rhinos. Here's Moore now to Sykes. Hitchcox tries to step inside, can't hold the ball. It was a good effort though from Rovers. Hitchcox, you could see almost trying to offload but not able to hold on. So Rovers turn over possession.
Yeah, fantastic work from Dallimore there. Makes his tackle on Hitchcox, and it's a loose tackle because it's a loose carry from Hitchcox as he's looking to work the ball away with an offload. Brings the knock on, and North Wales come away with it.
Here are North Wales then trying to work out from their own 20 now. It's a good drive forward by Joe Burke. Crusaders just short of halfway now. Through the hands it goes, down to that right-hand channel. It's a good break from the Crusaders over on that far side. It's gone to ground. Mr. Merrick happy enough with that. Let's play continue, but good defence from Rovers on halfway to pin the Crusaders there. Here's another good drive forward now. This time it's Johnny Walker. Here's another kick from Dallimore. That one's got some air. Has Blackmore under this. That's a good take from Blackmore and a good chase from the Crusaders. So Blackmore, Rovers will start now. Sykes attacked in half, finds Hitchcox. But good kick and good chase there from the Crusaders.
Yeah, great kick, great chase. It puts Rovers under pressure here, and they followed it up with some good defence. This is now the third tackle. Rovers only 15 metres out. Well done from Ben Blackmore though. He takes that well and he's able to turn and doesn't lose any yardage. He now comes in for another tackle and he takes us 10 metres forward there.
Better defensive set this from the Crusaders. Here comes Baldwinson though, trying to punch a hole in that Crusaders line. Here's the last tackle. Rovers just inside their own 40 now. It's going to be Sykes with a kick over the top. Splits the fullback and the winger, which is what a good kicker can find that gap, and he has found it well. Here's the return from Massam. And Rovers able to pin the Crusaders back on their own 20-metre line.
Saw a bit of resilience there from the home side with that kick and chase and that defensive effort to pin Rovers back. But what did we need to get us out of trouble there was the territory finding kick from Paul Sykes. He certainly provided that, the defence chase well, and now we're pinning them in their area.
Here are the Crusaders now then, just short of halfway. Tackles in hand. And a penalty there given by Mr. Merrick for holding down. Alex Foster involved in that tackle, so Rovers conceding the ground on that occasion. It'll be a kick from Dallimore. And the Crusaders had their first real attacking set on the Rovers line.
Slack play from Foster there. The defence appeared to be set, so I'm not sure there was much requirement to try and hold the play up. We'd already been able to pin the Crusaders back in their own half. It'd been a successful set, but instead they've got a chance to attack our line.
Burke with that first drive plays the ball. It's through the hands of Dallimore now. Worked out to that right-hand side. Here's the Crusaders. Tommy Johnson for the line. But good defence from Rovers there. Crusaders need to hit back and hit back soon. Here's another drive. It's Stuart Reardon. I thought for a minute Crusaders were over. It's going to be a good tackle though. Dallimore steps away from Hardman. That's great from Dallimore. What a fantastic effort that was from Jamie Dallimore. Danced away from Ian Hardman and then able to duck under a couple of tackles, get that ball down, and the Crusaders hit back. North Wales Crusaders 4, Featherstone Rovers 10.
Credit where it's due, Ben. North Wales definitely showed they could play a bit in that most recent passage of the game. They're swinging the ball both ways out wide. They're running at the line with pace, and they're making sure they've got supporting runners. A great step inside there from Dallimore to work his way through the line, and he lunges over with real desire to get his side back within touching distance. Disappointing though from the Rovers. Plenty of players being able to lay a hand on him, but none of them able to stop him.
Underhand shoulder, disappointed with that one. We've got Andy Bostock stripped off already, he's waiting to come on the touchline. The kick is going to be Tommy Johnson. And he is successful. So Crusaders hit back. North Wales Crusaders 6, Featherstone Rovers 10, and only 17 minutes on the clock.
Well, we've got a game on now, folks. North Wales definitely coming back there and showing that they're in for a fight today. One score in it. It's going to be an interesting one.
Andy Bostock comes on to replace Matt James after 17 minutes. So Bostock keeps up his record of appearing in every match this season, be it either from the bench or starting. And here's the kick-off from Paul Sykes now. Towards that far corner. It's well taken by the Crusaders, and here is that return now. Crusaders then trying to work out from their own 20-metre area. Good defence though from Bostock and Spears on that occasion. Ball's worked through the hands, Dallimore now. What a hit that one is. Great defence from Paul Sykes to see that play early. And here's an attempt from dummy half, but a tackle wasted there. Through the hands it goes, and here are the Crusaders again now. We're going to see a kick from Dallimore, juggles with it, gets the kick away. Over the head of Will Sykes, but is able to retrieve that on his own try line. It's 15 metres to run into, and there's a good return. But a good chase from Dallimore, still going is Will Sharp. But another good kick chase from the Crusaders, Joe, from in their own 40. The pin Rovers back on their own 10-metre line.
Definitely, they're under the cosh a bit early, but Dallimore, he's got them back into this game single-handedly, and he's really leading the charge here for the Crusaders. Rovers, though, bringing the ball forward well now. Andy Bostock running at the line with some pace there. Not able to get the ball away, but he's got us up.
Here goes Ben Blackmore from acting halfback, gets Rovers up to halfway now. That's the last tackle, says Mr. Merrick. Ellis, he'll find Gareth Moore on that left-hand side. A kick for the corner. That's taken on the full by the Crusaders, though, so able to run that back. It's a good take, is that, from Ian Moore.
Disappointing kick there from Andy Ellis. We've seen him kicking from acting halfback a couple of times this year, whereas we've not seen that in previous seasons, so I'm not sure whether it's something they've been working on. Sam Irwin, of course, we know, a more than capable kicker from that position.
Dallimore works that ball inside, but good defence from Rovers. Baldwinson and Maytua. Two players, I have to say, Joe, they're not two forwards I would want to run into. Baldwinson and Maytua in that tackle.
Definitely not. Two players with ferocious defence, the pair of them. And Jordan Baldwinson, we want to see his work rate, and we see it week in, week out. Will we see more of that from Maytua once he gets up to full fitness?
There's a kick over the top from the Crusaders. It's bouncing all over the place. Hitchcock's able to take it and returns that ball in a way that only Jai Hitchcock knows, and that's forward. Still going with three players on his back. That's another good return from Hitchcock.
It's a great return. They've kicked it and it's bouncing all over the place on his try line, but he manages to work us out to the 20 when there were defenders on the 10-metre line. Fantastic. Exactly what you want from your fullback.
Here's Baldwinson now. Rovers just shy of the 40. Then to field. Ellis, Moore, Sykes, Foster now. Steps back inside, but it's well wrapped up on that occasion. Matt Hobson in the tackle. Here goes Bostock. He only knows one way as well. Bostock on the charge, looks for the offload. Still looking for the offload. Hold on to that ball, Bozzy. It's such a key part of his game, but sometimes you just got to know when to keep the ball. Kept it on that occasion. That's another great kick from Moore, though. And what a take from Ian Mort on that far side. The Crusaders now back in possession. And so the Crusaders then trying to work out from their own 20-metre line. That's good defence from Rovers. Bostock involved in the tackle. He's such a high work rate, Andy Bostock. Such a key player for the Rovers. That's another kick from Dallimore. That's another one that's going to come down with snow on it. Sharp takes it, but the ball went backwards. He was facing his own line. A let off there for Rovers, I think, because even though he was facing his own line, he looked to me as though Joe, the ball might have gone maybe gone forwards.
No, the ball's gone backwards there, but because Will Sharp's run behind it, it's giving you the illusion that it's gone forwards because it's ended up behind the player. It's all about the direction of the ball, not the direction of the play in the case of a knock-on.
Here's Bostock again, moves that ball onto Sykes, and now Baldwinson gets a good offload to Sykes. Now worked out this near side to Blackmore, but good defence on that occasion by
Bostock,
Masson.
I'm sure, would be chuffed with you complimenting his work rate, by the way. I'm not sure John Bastian would have had the same thoughts.
Bostock, though, able to shrug off two tacklers there on the halfway line. Here's Sykes. Sykes with a kick over the top for the corner. Is that going to hold up or just run dead? It's gonna just run dead. Just a great kick from Sykes though to pin the Crusaders back, and they'll now restart on the 20.
Yeah, call there from the in-goal official. We don't get to see that very often at FEV games, but of course, this being the Challenge Cup, we've got all the Super League officials, and they're all getting paid Super League prices as well.
Here are the Crusaders now then in possession. Trying to work out from their own 30, centre field. Attacking down this left channel now. But good defence from the Rovers though. On halfway now, the Crusaders. North Wales Crusaders. I nearly said Celtic then. It is of course the North Wales Crusaders now. And it's going to be another kick from Dallimore. That one again, testing Hitchcock's safe as houses underneath that kick. No problem at all. You can give those to Hitchcock all day. He doesn't miss many of them, does it?
A real spiral with the sun in his eyes. But yeah, Jay Hitchcock looks so comfortable under that. It was untrue.
Here's Baldwinson again, bringing that ball forward for Rovers. Such a strong work rate. Doesn't hold back from any drives. And on defence as well. He's a real quality player. Ellis sees a gap and goes for it. Gets the offload to Meitua. Meitua's still going. Gets the pass away as well. It's Gareth Moore. So Rovers with a real chance now is Will Sharp. Is he over? Yes, he is. Will Sharp is over in the corner, and I have to say, Joe, some of these tries that Will Sharp scores in the corner look almost impossible to score, but he's done it once again, and Rovers stretch the lead back out to 8. North Wales Crusaders 6, Featherstone Rovers 14.
That entire passage of play, Ben, just reeked of class all the way through it. Andy Ellis blitzing through a gap he'd seen out the back because Jordan Baldwinson had drawn the man into the tackle. Baldwinson now getting a well-earned rest, and Bussey coming onto the field. Then after that, Ellis works the ball away to Meitua. Meitua is shrugging off the men, but equally he's looking inside for players coming over his shoulder. We've spoke about the improvements in support play, and Gazmore provided it there on his inside. He couldn't get away from the defenders, but he makes sure we get a quick play. We work it to that left side. Meitua realises his job's not done. He gets the ball on that left side and gets it away to Mins. Mins gives it to Sharp. Sharp, that was physically impossible to score that try, but that man should be an Olympic gymnast. with his ability to score tries like that, the agility of the man is just phenomenal.
Superb effort there from Will Sharp to get a seemingly impossible try in the corner. Here's the kick from Gareth Moore. That one is successful, so Rovers have the 10-point lead again. North Wales Crusaders 6, Featherstone Rovers 16.
Trying conversion for Featherstone makes it North Wales Crusaders 6, Featherstone 16.
There we are then. North Wales had started to really get back into this game. It was very much on even keel for the past 20 minutes or so, and then Fev produced a bit of class like they did there, and they reassert the dominance.
Kick from Dylan Moore is taken by Sykes easily enough. Jack Bussey has come on for Jordan Baldwinston, and Jack Bussey there with that first drive. Held up. Here goes Bostock now. It's a real battering ram is Andy Bostock when he takes that ball in. Ellis finds Spears. Rovers making yards very easily at the moment. Andy Ellis with another dart. Gets Rovers over halfway, and that's only the fourth tackle. Moore moves that ball out to the left-hand side again. Rovers seen a lot of that play going down that Rovers left-hand side at the moment, but a loss of momentum on that play.
Ball going to ground there, but yet again, Will Sharp saving our bacon like he does time and time again for the Rovers. Taps the ball back in the field of play to stop it going out to touch, and means that we maintain possession of the ball.
More drop-off pass there to Tim Spears. Not sure if the referee's wiped the tackle count down, but it seems to be, if he hasn't, it's a long tackle count, is this one. Moore finds Maytua. Again, it's gone to ground, and Will Sharp having to pick up a loose pass, but he returns that really well, and a great return from Sharp. Summer Rovers passing moment not quite up to the standard yet to expect it to be at.
Yeah, Maytua, no. Oh, what an offload from Andy Bostock. He's got it away to Ellis, but Ellis. Oh, the defence managed just to cover well. I thought we were in there, Ben.
So close, Rovers there now. Sykes. Pass out the back door. Hitchcock's to Hardman. That's played out by the Crusaders. It's going to be wiped clean. Referee's wiped it clean, so Jack Bussey. Andy Bostock telling Bussey that it's wiped clean. Rovers are over. Another. It's Alex Foster. I think they're not sure the referee's given that one. Not sure what the call is. I think he's given Rovers head and feed at the scrum. Rovers have got head and feed at this scrum.
I suggest that'll likely be a first knock on or some incident like that, but the touch judges call the forward pass here on this near side to disallow the try. So one of the North Wales players must have got the ball, their hands to the ball when it went to ground early in the play.
Paul Sykes. Now Rovers attacking that left-hand side. We're going to be seeing the introduction of Remy Marginet shortly.
Yeah, Remy Marginet, a perfect opportunity for him to really get his career back on track here with the Rovers. Started very positively, but weaknesses in his game started to show, and we didn't quite see the same spark then.
Sykes. Here's Hitchcock. Another flick pass to Will Sharp. Will Sharp having to pick a lot of passes up off the ground at the moment, but it still goes forward so well. Here's the last tackle, says the referee. So Rovers, Moore now. Through the hands it goes to Foster with the offload to Moore again. Moore to Hardman, tries to cut back inside. I'm sure the referee called for the last tackle a moment ago, but Rovers still in possession of Tim Spears now. Ellis, Moore, Sykes, but inside flick to Jai Hitchcock's a forward pass. So Rovers turn over possession. I could have sworn the signal came up from the referee though, just before that set to say it was the last tackle. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, that forward pass about as plumb as day as you're ever going to get there. Inside from Sykes to Hitchcock. It was the right idea, but not quite the right execution, and that's been the issue sometimes with Rovers this season. In this game, though, we've seen like we say, is have more purpose about our attacking play, and so hopefully that's improving.
Here are the Crusaders now then. Oh, that's awful. That is awful from the Crusaders. The ball put to ground by the Crusaders. I think it's Mark Hobson, it was. But now they're piling on the pressure for themselves now. Only on the second tackle, still inside their own 20. And the basic pass put to ground.
Yeah, they've been under pressure for so long, and that's criminal from Hobson there. Knocking on plenty of tackles left in their bag, and yeah, absolutely criminal. He's put his side under even more pressure now.
As Andy Ellis has come off to be replaced by Remy Marginet, who's going to go in a hooker, I fancy.
Maya Tua nearly sending Bostock through there.
And Rovers are the over from acting half. What's the referee saying? No, he's short. Oh, that's a big call. Sykes now on the bounce. One or two passes from Rovers at the moment. The passing game at the minute is not up to where you would want it to be. Here's Marginet though, trying to dance through the line. Hardman waits, attacks in halfback. Sykes to Moore. Moore will dink one over the top. The Crusaders are back in possession. So another chance goes a-begging for Rovers. But they have pinned the Crusaders back where you want them to be, back in their own 10 again.
Yeah, we've had plenty of opportunities though, Ben, and we're just not being clinical enough near the opposition line. The final pass lacking in some areas, and we could well have been away in this game.
Mark Hobson able to hold on to that ball on that occasion. He plays the ball. And here are the Crusaders now then. Rovers have been over 3 times so far this afternoon. 3 good tries that they have scored. And here are the Crusaders now. That's a good offload. And that's a shocking offload. That's momentum has been lost there. And now great defence from Meitua. Crusaders fans on that far side don't like something. Here's the last tackle. And that's a dink on the last. That's a good attempt from the Crusaders. But Will Sharp alive to it again, Joe. From the short kick and able to return that ball superbly.
Will Sharp, such a live wire around the bouncing ball, and if he's in close proximity to it, you can guarantee he'll be the first man there, and he was on that occasion yet again.
Moore to Sykes now. Through the hands of Hitchcock. Over on that far side, it's Thomas Minns. Here are Rovers now. Moore offloads to Bostock. Bostock looking for the offload again, finds Marginet. Trying to dance through is Marginet. Put to the ground, 5 metres short of the Crusaders line. Moore in attack in halfback. Finds Jack Bussey. Bussey held up inches short. Here's the last tackle, says the referee. Rovers going to come the short side. A dink from Moore. That's knocked dead by the Crusaders. A great effort that one was. A brilliant kick from Moore, but Rovers forced to repeat
it's
that.
A great dive there from Johnson. The ball was falling into the arms of Alex Foster. He was certain to score the try, but Johnson goes flying through the air and is able to tap it behind, causing a goal line dropout for his side, but stopping a certain 4 points for the Rovers.
Second dropout of the afternoon then for the North Wales Crusaders. Rovers have had plenty of pressure and plenty of possession on the Crusaders line. Only the 3 scores so far though, and here comes Ben Blackmore now. Looking to set up position potentially for a 4th. And Remy Marginet waits. Finds Jack Bussey. Jack Bussey goes forward. That's a good drive. Sykes has put that ball down, so another chance goes for Rovers. Again, not quite showing the clinicality that you want in attacking the opposition line. Not able to finish that set off yet again, Joe.
Yeah, we're lacking, the amount of chances we've had on the opposition line we should have had this game wrapped up by now, Ben. We should have been able to coast through the second half and make sure we kept all the players fit going into the next bout of league games. Instead, it's going to be all on in that second half.
3 tries for Rovers in this first half. Moore, Ellis and Sharp. There's an offload though, and here's Dallimore now. Certainly is a key player, but well wrapped up on that occasion. Here are the Crusaders and trying to work out from their own 40. But good strong defence from Rovers to keep them back there. And another offload. Here's Dallimore now. He'll put the kick through. An easy take from Will Sharp on his own 20. And again, room to run into. He seems to be targeting Will Sharp's side, which on a lot of the last tackle plays, Joe. And so far, that's probably not where I would want to put them.
No, but you look at Rovers' back three, where do you want to put them? You know, Ben Blackmore with his unbelievable pace. It's unmatched. No one else on the field can match him. Pace for pace, that's for sure. Jai Hitchcock, if you send the ball to him, then you're going to face one hell of a stiff-armed handoff, and you don't want to come up against that either. So perhaps the wily Will Sharp is the one to send it to. He's going to try and shimmy his way through the defence, but you're not going to get as embarrassed, perhaps.
Rovers have turned over possession there. Again, a knock-on the Crusaders' 20. So another chance has gone.
Rovers making plenty of mistakes in this first half, but at least we are making them in the right areas. We're making sure we're getting up to the opposition end of the field before throwing the ball about. Perhaps we need to just wrap it up a little more, but trying some silly offloads, and it's not always paying off for us.
If you're going to make the mistakes, that's where you want to make them, certainly. Pin the Crusaders back, make them restart the sets from in their own 20. And so here's that scrum down, it's set by the Crusaders. They're going to go down that short side and lose possession on the first. It's got a free play, so it is going to be the free play, and Rovers are going to get a scrum head and feed. That is criminal to lose the ball in the first tackle like that when he'd been under so much pressure. To turn over possession again and just inviting more pressure.
Tell you what, we can be irritated about Rovers not being able to keep hold of the ball. If I was a North Wales Crusaders fan, I would be fuming right now. The amount of times they've received the turnover of the ball, they've got possession back in their own territory, and they've not got through the first 3 tackles, Ben, before giving the ball back to the Rovers. It's unreal, and you're never going to win a game of rugby like that.
Not turning the ball over on the first tackle, that's for sure, like they have done there. So Rovers with a great chance now to pin some more points before half-time. That scrum is fed, and Marchionnet out to the base of the scrum finds Sykes. Sykes takes on the line himself, is well wrapped up though. Plays that ball, and the ball is put down. What's that going to be? It's going to be a knock-on. It's called first knock-on, so who's head and feed going to? Scrum down, head and feed to the Crusaders. So once again, Rovers bomb yet another opportunity.
Yeah, like we say, we are turning it over in their 10. So that means that they're deep into their territory starting. It's not much of a threat to us, but you'd like to have this game wrapped up. Sunny weather out there. It's going to be very hot in the second half. You don't want to wear yourselves out on a game like this. Although, if it is close, you would fancy us to go on and win the game, even if North Wales come back and score a couple more points because of that superior fitness, because of the high level we're playing at. You'd expect it to tell in these conditions.
You could have expected Salford to maybe stretch out the lead and win yesterday, but Lee showed that an upset is always on the cards in these matches. You can't take anything for granted. And here are the Crusaders now. That looked a flat pass there. Looking for the offload, but holding on to it on that occasion. On halfway, on the last tackle now. It's going to be a kick. That's a good kick. Jai Hitchcock's able to retrieve that ball. He'll take that ball forward. Looking for that handoff again. Well wrapped up on that occasion, and more in attacking halfback. He'll find Will Sharp. Will Sharp moves that ball on now. Rovers trying to work out from their own 30-metre area now. As Will Sharp goes in, that's in half-back now. Takes on that line again, getting through a high work rate. Will Sharp, a prolific try scorer in his time at Rovers, and also to add on to that, the lot of work he does from that back three, from the returns, and also from backs in half-back as well. He's a real key player for the Rovers. As a penalty is given, but Will Sharp's such a key player for Rovers, Joe.
Yeah, he definitely is. It's not often that you get these prolific try scorers who are willing to do some of the niggly bits of play in the middle of the field, some of the bits that often isn't as praised as the fantastic tries that players like Will Sharp can score, but he's a real asset to this team without a doubt.
So Rovers with a penalty for a high tackle there. Moore finding touch, 15 metres inside the Crusaders half.
Once again then, we've got possession. Can we keep hold of it for a full set, and can we score a try?
Moore now finds Jack Bussey. Bussey takes on that line, 3 defenders in that tackle though. Marginet waits. Here's Bostock. Rovers up to the 20 again. They've been here a lot this half. Marginet shows it to Bussey, then finds Sykes. Sykes with the offload there to Foster. Marginet, Sykes again now. Takes on the line, he's well held short. Good defence from the Crusaders to push him back as well. 3 in that tackle. Through the hands it goes now. Spears to Moore. Moore sees a gap and goes for it. And here's a dink from Hitchcock of all people. And that is going to be that at the end of an entertaining first half here at the University Stadium here in Wrexham. 3 tries to 1 for Rovers. Gareth Moore started it off in the 8th minute, and that wasn't converted. A try in the corner, a superb breakaway try it was. Andy Ellis then got on in the act a couple of minutes later. That was converted. Jason Dallimore then managed to get over for what's probably Crusaders' only real attack in the Rovers half, before Will Sharp scored what was can only be described as an impossible try to score. Joe, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, just going back to Will Sharp with that try, if someone was to do a try the season reel for this season, or the try of the past 5 years for the Rovers, it'd be all Will Sharp, wouldn't it? Because he scores some tries, it's just physically impossible. I don't know whether sometimes he waits a little to let the defence come along just so he can score a try that looks more impressive. When you can, like, why wouldn't you?
A couple of things to come up with very shortly.
Aside from that, we're sending the ball out to Maitu a lot. We're making good use of him, but you do feel sometimes he feels a little bit of pressure on the fact that he's a forward that's known for having a handling ability and being a threat with ball in hand. So is he forcing the pass a little too much? Sometimes he's proved crucial in sending players through with that passing game, but sometimes the ball's been going to ground a lot.
Rovers have had a lot of territory, especially in the Crusaders 20-metre area. 3 tries scored, but so many other chances. Passes put to ground when they could have been out of sight by now.
They definitely could, and that's really disappointing, particularly with the issues we've got in the front row at the moment. We're down to only 3 recognised props, and even that, we saw Matt James come off after 17 minutes. He was out with a soft muscle tissue injury and therefore wasn't able to play in last week's game. So I don't know whether there's a concern there or whether he's been eased back into his rugby with a game here this weekend. But you'd want to make sure that you put this game to bed and you can just coast your way through the last 20 minutes.
So half-time here then at the University Stadium here in Wrexham. Rovers on top. Make sure you're back for the second half. North Wales Crusaders 6, Featherstone Rovers 16. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the second half at the Clandy University Stadium here in Wrexham. North Wales Crusaders 6, Featherstone Rovers 16.
And the home team, North Wales Crusaders.
Rovers practically for the whole, more or less the whole of that half, camped in the Crusaders half on attack, just not able to finish off those chances, aside from the 3 which they did. If you have half-time talk from Andy Hajo, is it more of the same?
Well, it's more of the same, but keep hold of the ball a bit and capitalise on those chances. North Wales full of leaks, but Featherstone not able to exploit them. Joke of the day, folks.
You've lost me completely. Here's the kick-off from sight.
Leaks, Wales, Ben.
Okay. Taken by the Crusaders, and here comes that first drive. So Crusaders then trying to work out from their own 20, which they spent a lot of time doing in that first half. What's the key for the Crusaders in this second half? Surely it's got to be ball retention when you're bringing that ball out and just try and work the Rovers more.
Absolutely. They've been very dangerous when they've managed to complete their sets. Dallymore's kicking game's been fantastic, and they're hard working to get up there and pressurise the Rovers. On a few occasions they've done that. They've been able to get the ball in our territory. When they're there, they look dangerous. So absolutely, complete your sets, work to a kick, do what you're good at.
And for the Rovers?
For the Rovers, once you're up on the opposition line, be a little more composed. The chances will come, don't rush it.
And so there's a kick over the top, and here's Will Sharp again. Try scorer supreme in the first half, returning that ball well, and that's a good chase from the Crusaders, pinning Will Sharp back on his own 20, and Ben Blackmore has lost that ball. Looked bemused at the decision from Mr. Merrick, but Rovers have put the ball down, and Crusaders now have got a great chance for early points in the second half.
Yeah, loose carry there in the tackle, the ball goes to ground, but Blackmore thinking the ball was knocked out by the Crusaders man. Gives North Wales an important opportunity though to get back within touching distance of the Rovers with a try here.
Rovers were a 10-point lead at half-time. Not insurmountable by any means, and here are the Crusaders now attacking that Rovers that left-hand channel, that Rovers right edge at the moment. There's a drop-off pass, but a good defence from Rovers, keeping the Crusaders short. 10 metres out though, 10 metres to the left of the sticks. Dallimore moves that ball out wide, through the hands it goes, and that's a good chance for Tommy Johnson. It's Tommy Johnson again. Tommy Johnson is over for his second try of the afternoon. A perfect start to the second half for the Crusaders. North Wales Crusaders 10, Featherstone Rovers 16.
Yeah, Tommy Johnson there, as good as 2 tries today, stopping that one at the other end for the Rovers, tapping it behind when the ball was falling into the arms of Alex Foster, and then he's forced his way over in this right-hand channel. Well, just into this second half, Ben, back within 6 points of the Rovers, and Johnson with an opportunity to convert his own try, get his side within 4 points. We've got a game on our hands once again.
Indeed we have. That's a great effort it was from Tommy Johnson. Still had a lot of work to do when he got that ball, but using the strength and power to force his way over, that won't be the start that Andy Hay wants. Certainly not the start that Andy Hay will have wanted to the second half, but that's a perfect start for the Crusaders. And here is Tommy Johnson now. There's the kick. The flags go up. That's a superb kick from Johnson. Game on, folks, here at the University Stadium here in Wrexham. North Wales Crusaders 12, Featherstone Rovers 16.
And that's really lifted the home fans here. They're very vocal. Their travelling band of supporters are always very vocal when they come to the Big Fella Stadium. Tommy Johnson's been huge in today's game, and they'll be paying huge credit to him if they go on to win this game, Ben.
There is the kickoff. And it's well taken, and here comes that first drive for the Crusaders. It's a good first drive as well.
Correction, it's North Wales Crusaders 12, Featherstone Rovers 16.
Ryan Duffy was with that drive, and that's a great first drive and another good drive as well now. Crusaders then trying to work out from their own 20 again. Rovers just need to tighten up in defence, go back to what they were doing so well in the first half, keep the discipline. This game is still here for the winning for either of these teams, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. 4 points in it is absolutely anyone's game, Ben. Featherstone by far the most dominant side in the first half, but that's behind the teams now. It's all about who performs in the here and now.
Hitchcock takes that kick through and takes that first tackle. Gareth Moore as that's in half-back, finds Will Sharp. Will Sharp. Crusaders look to have tightened up on defence as well, Joe. The Rovers aren't making the yards as easily as they were in that first half as Tim Spears tries himself now.
No, they're coming up well. They're very up for this game, and no doubt that try is going to have given them a lift. You can see the increased work rate, though. They're all working hard to get back on side, and the line speed is far improved.
Bostock now, though. Here's a real battering ram in that Rovers side. Gets Rovers just short of halfway now. And there's the kick over the top. That kick is going to run dead, though. Too much on it. So that'll be a restart for the Crusaders on the 20.
Too much weight on the kick there from Sykes and relieves pressure from the Crusaders. They're going to be able to come out well here. We need to make sure that we dominate in the territorial battle once more in this second half.
An interchange for the Crusaders. Elliot Davis has come on. He has replaced Ryan Duffy. And so then the Crusaders just short of halfway now. Carl Ashaw, the interchange hooker, is also on for the Crusaders. He points one way, then goes the other, and it's Dallimore with a kick through. That's a good kick from Dallimore, turning Rovers round. Ben Blackmore not interested. That's an almost perfect kick for the Crusaders, turning Rovers round, and that'll be a scrum down head and feed on the Rovers 10.
Crusaders come out like a change side in the second half. They're making sure they're completing their sets, and they're making sure that they look to pin Rovers back. They keep the Rovers at bay. We can't score if we're down the other end of the field to their try line. Featherstone, by contrast, not being able to dominate the territorial battle as they did in the first half, and they need to make sure they have more possession in this second half, because the heat with the sun out like it is in this second half is going to have a huge impact in this game going into the later stages.
Only a 4-point lead, folks, don't forget. Crusaders 12, Rovers 16. A try from Gareth Moore, which he scored. That first try was unable to convert. How much of an effect that'll have, I don't know, as Rennie Tua, though, takes that ball forward. Such a danger man, punching those holes in the Crusaders team. Marchionnet moves that ball to Bostock now.
North Wales working hard in defence, 4 men in the tackle there, and a knock on from Bostock. Good work from North Wales there, and they've earned the ball just into Rovers territory.
Andy Bostock not happy with that decision at all, and has said something to the referee and has been penalised for it. So it's, instead of it being just a scrum, it is actually a penalty now, and Crusaders have a real chance here, Joe, to take the lead in this match.
Featherstone pinged for dissent there. Slack, an absolute cardinal sin, and absolutely North Wales looking very dangerous every time they're on the Rovers line, and they're here again.
Stephen Wilde plays that ball to Ashaw. Ashaw moves that ball inside now to Elliot Davis, on from the bench. He looks to be a real battering ram as well, in the same mould as Andy Bostock. Through the hands of Dallimore now, the Crusaders attack down the left. Surely that could have been an obstruction.
No, So the player's already in the tackle, Ben, so under the new rules of the obstruction, you've actually got to physically obstruct the defenders, but as the player was already in the tackle, obviously the defenders weren't obstructed from tackling him.
So the Crusaders now then. It's an attempt from that's in half for Carl Ashall. He's held up. Saw a gap, did Carl Ashall, that's in half. Went for the gap, but good defence from Rovers to hold him up. But Crusaders are showing a real attacking threat at the moment.
They definitely are. It's looking like this game's all about efficiency. Rovers with so many chances but unable to get over the line. Every time Crusaders are here, they look like scoring.
That's a good kick it was from Dallimore. A penalty's been given. Oh, that's a big call, Mr. Merrick. Mr. Merrick, it was a kick from Dallimore. Two players jumped for the ball, but Mr. Merrick has said that Rovers have committed a 2-in-1 steal, and now Elliot Davis, Crusaders, 6 tackles on the Rovers line.
He's a big call, but I think it's the right call. The Crusaders man jumping for the ball and taking it, but then Will Sharp stealing it in the challenge. Not sure he knew there was another Rovers player in amongst that, but nonetheless he's come away with the ball and it's a ball steal.
Interchange for Rovers is the withdrawal of Andy Bostock.
But Dallimore had been able to break through the line there again with the step, very much like the first half.
Baldwinson is back on for Rovers as well, so Baldwinson for Bostock. Rovers at the moment, as Elliot Davis takes on that line again. Rovers are penned on their own line at the minute, struggling to get out. And we're going to see the reintroduction of Matt James in a minute as well now. Dallimore's kick off. No! Rovers with a huge let-off. A huge let-off. It was a kick through from Dallimore. Gareth Moore, I think it was, or it might have been Marginet, tried to take the ball, knocked it backwards. It was pounced on by the Crusaders over the line. But a huge call from Mr. Merrick to call the Crusaders offside. A massive let-off, Joe.
I'm absolutely convinced, Ben, every time North Wales are on the Rovers line, they look like they're going to score, and it's not a situation you want to be in. Thank goodness Baldwinson's come back on the field. We need players with that kind of work rate, because our sliding defence has got to cover some of the frailties we're experiencing.
Matt James has come back on and Jack Bussey has gone off. So Rovers back to their first choice front line, or front forwards anyway. Here's Marginet now. And Baldwinson shows that real brute strength. That's what Rovers need, just to try and get back some control of this match.
We need to play the game up their end a little, because looks like they're going to break through every time they're on our line. We need to keep them in their own half, then they can't score, Ben.
James finds more. Maitua now takes on the line. Maitua, there's that hand that we see, that handoff so strong from Maitua. Rovers back where they want to be, in the Crusaders 10. Marginet now finds Hitchcock. That was a run around from Hitchcock, but well read by the Crusaders. Here's Moore now with a dink through. That's a great kick from Moore. And Rovers forced to drop out. Just a response that Rovers will have wanted after being penned on their own line for the past 10 minutes or so.
Exactly what we needed. We come upfield with the ball, helped by the penalty, but then we're able to turn the repeat set. We get ourselves some more possession of the ball, and that's what we need. You can see players holding their knees. It's very hot out there. It's going to be hard work for the lads, so it's much better if the opposition are the ones doing the tackling.
Stadium is 617 and 617.
We're going to see a double interchange from the Crusaders shortly, as Johnny Walker's going to be coming back on. And also Wright will be coming back on as well, the hooker. Here are Rovers though, just short of the Crusaders 20 now. Marginet finds Sykes. Sykes to Hardman on the charge. Hardman! He's got Rovers, he's got Blackmore in the corner. That's what Rovers really needed. Ben Blackmore it is. Superb play from Sykes to find Hardman. Hardman broke the tackle. Found a pass out wide to Blackmore. Blackmore still had a lot to do. but similar mould to Will Sharp, but not quite as spectacular. Able to get that ball down in the corner. Rovers have some sort of control back, have a lead back at least. Crusaders 12, Featherstone 20.
Yeah, Ben Blackmore eager, absolutely eager to match Will Sharp there. But it appeared to be what was the most unnecessary spin in the world before scoring that try. Trying to look a little flash, but we know you don't need to do that, Ben. You've got pace to burn and you'll ease through the gap just fine. Great work from Ian Hardman, though. He shrugs off his man and he's got the awareness to work the ball out to Ben Blackmore. People saying he's not a natural centre nowadays after so many years serving Rovers out at fullback. He showed he's got class at centre there, Ben.
Certainly did. Tim Spears has been withdrawn. And we're seeing the introduction first time this afternoon of Mason Tonks. And now Gareth Moore then, looking to edge closer to that 100 goals. There is the kick. It's successful. So Gareth Moore converts again. Rovers have a 10-point lead back. Crusaders 12, Featherstone Rovers 22.
2 scores in it, daylight between the sides. Important that Rovers keep the momentum going now and make sure North Wales don't end up in our area of the field again.
Gareth Moore now 4 goals away from a career 100 as a kick-off from Dallimore. Taken by Rovers, and that's a good take from Hitchcock. The ball's come free and off the Crusaders' hand, so Rovers will restart this setup in possession and trying to work out from their own 20 now. Crusaders, though, you can see the intensity in their play. They're not giving this one up, Joe.
No, they're definitely not. They're up on us like dogs. They've got the bit between their teeth. They're charging up in the line, but it's important that Rovers just keep on plodding their way upfield, complete this set, work to the kick, make sure we keep them at bay up their end of the field.
Martinet to make 2 of that. Ball's worked out to Will Sharp again. Does so well, Will Sharp, to stay in the field of play. Moore.
Bit of a hospital pass there from Mins into Sharp. Was sure he was going to get forced out to touch, did well.
Baldwinson now, here's the last tackle. Marchinet's kick was charged down. Crusaders have come up with it. A great effort from the Crusaders there. Charging down the kick from Marchinet and able to pounce on that ball. Rovers bomb a chance to get some really good field position and defend the Crusaders in their own half.
Brilliant work by Hobson there for the Crusaders. It had been played out of that ball, so it would have been back to 1 for the Rovers. And now Crusaders have earned a penalty off the back of that. Hobson receiving an injury for his efforts, but he's really saved his side there, and he's given them a chance to score and get back within touching distance of the Rovers.
Rovers just can't seem to put this game away to bed at the minute. It's only really been a 2-score lead all the way through. That third try, you fancy, would be a killer try, but they just can't seem to get it, Joe.
No, we're just not able to put significant distance between us and North Wales. They're a team that just won't go away.
Here are the Crusaders then, on the charge, looking for another try that will bring it back to within 4 points yet again. Through the hands it goes now. Dallimore tries to step inside. That's a great effort, but held up just short. Ashaw moves that ball out. Through the hands it goes now. Over on that far side, but good defence from Rovers again. Attacking down the short side now, Crusaders. Crowded out. Excellent defence on that far side. 4 players surround the player quickly, able to force him into touch. And that's the sort of play you need, defensive play you need to lift the team and to lift your fans.
Exactly what we needed. We put an end to that attack. We make sure we've got possession of the ball back. With this scrum on the 10-metre line, an opportunity to get up the other end of the field. We've been saying that North Wales have looked like scoring on every opportunity when they're up our end of the field. They didn't on that occasion. It was down to some committed defence from the Rovers.
It was. No fullback has dropped back. So you got a defensive line of 6 set behind the scrum. Here is that first drive. Martinet finds Maitua. Rovers don't need to do anything fancy here, just complete your sets, get a good kick away, pin the Crusaders back. A scoop from that's in half by Martinet, well seen on that occasion. And Rovers now getting the arts again, just short of halfway. Martinet finds Matt James, gets Rovers over halfway. That's a good drive from James. Here's the last tackle, says the referee. It's going to be Gareth Moore taken out by Ashall. Mr. Merrick seems happy enough, and that's a good return. Maybe Ashall was committed to the tackle. We're going to see a change here from the Crusaders. Onto the field comes Andrew Joy, and he's replacing Dobson. Here are the Crusaders now then. It's Callum Wright from that's in halfback. We'll move that ball inside, through the hands it goes, over on that left hand side, a shocking pass. It had to be taken round the ground. It was well taken round the ground, and I think Crusaders have a player injured. That's not worked out well. A kick through from the Crusaders, coming off their own player, and Rovers able to pounce on it. When things aren't going your way, Joe, they're not going your way.
Ball booted against the head of the North Wales prop, and it's come away to the Rovers. Now we've got the ball inside their 30 metre. This is our chance to pounce, Ben.
Yeah, Rovers with a 10-point lead at the moment. Marginet, Moore. A borderline pass there to Matt James. That referee happy enough. Moore again now. Finds Maitua. Remy Maitua is over for Rovers. His second try in 2 games for Remy Maitua. It was from the base of scrum. Gareth Moore found him on, charging on at speed. And Rennie Maitua able to get that ball down. 15 metres in from touch. So Rovers have that daylight finally. A 14-point lead with a kick to come. Crusaders 12, Featherstone Rovers 26.
Well, Gareth Moore there, he's coming down the left side. He's starting to play with a bit more confidence. He's going down that left. He dummies out to Jai Hitchcocks. The defence is drawn, and then Maitua, he's storming through the gap. The defence closes in on him, but there's no stopping that man. He scores between the tap and scrum line. And there we are, Ben. That's your 3-score lead. I think Rovers have got it now.
The first time in the match Rovers have had a 3-score lead. The Crusaders just haven't gone away up to now. They've always been there or thereabouts, even with a 10-point lead, a 12-point lead. They haven't gone away, and you've always fancied they've had a chance to get him back in this match. But now hopefully that 3-score lead for Rovers will just stretch that out for you now. And Gareth Moore lines up this conversion. That one has just gone to the wrong side of the upright, so the conversion is not successful. But Rovers have a 3-score lead.
North Wales Crusaders 12.
North Wales Crusaders 12. Featherstone Rovers 26.
It's a cut tight. There's no points difference to think of. So what do you do now if you're the Crusaders? You've got to go hell for leather surely and try and score a try quickly.
That's a good kick-off. It's well taken by Rovers. Here's Baldwinson though. Just bats away 2 Crusaders players like flies. I'm not interested in that. Martinet now. Rovers, look, you can see the Rovers, maybe that tries to knock the stuffing out to the Crusaders. That 3-score lead, how crucial that'll be in this game as Matt James brings the ball forward now. Rovers just short of halfway. Martinet trying to get away himself, but well wrapped up. He gets a pass away, which Moore has to retrieve. Rovers lost a bit of momentum on that play, and Binns does well to bring it forward again. Marginet, Sykes, shows it once and a drop-off pass there. Rovers on the last tackle, just inside the Crusaders half now. It's going to be Gareth Moore. That's another good kick from Moore, which Sharp's chasing. It's well taken, and what a chase from Rovers. That's a superb kick from Gareth Moore. And even though it was well taken by the Crusaders, a banker of 3 defenders closing him out, Joe. And even with a 14-point lead, that's a great defensive effort.
Definitely is. Chasing the kick there means we can put them under pressure as we are now. Well done, Paul Sykes there, getting up in the line. And Crusaders back within their own 10 metres now.
Rovers then. Strong defensive set so far. Keep your discipline, no penalties here. And you've got a real chance of attacking a strike attacking set. On the Crusaders line. That's the last tackle. They're barely out of their own 20. It's going to be Dallimore. That kick's come off a Rovers player, so that's taken some of the sting out of it. What a take from Hitchcock. That is absolutely outstanding. And he's still going, Hitchcock. He's still going, Hitchcock. That is absolutely superb.
Jai Hitchcock's running through, batting players away like flies. Sometimes he makes it look like you've put Rugby League Live on easy. The way he goes through these players, some of them like they're not there, some of them twice his weight, and just pass them off with this handoff. It's absolutely ferocious.
Rovers then 10 metres out, centre field. Hitchcock's just on his haunches, and Tim Spears is back on now. We're seeing the withdrawal of Rennie Maitua for a breather. He's had a great stint, Joe, and it's been superb for Rovers yet again. And here's Marginet now. Rovers attack down the short side, Spears out. A flick pass to Blackmore. That is absolutely outstanding. Getting a round of applause at the side of me from Joe. Rovers now showing the champagne rugby. This game is in the bag. Rovers are in the hat for next round of the Challenge Cup when all the big boys come in. Andy Ellis is going to be returning shortly as well.
Ben Blackmore there with that try. Ian Hardman's flick on, reminiscent of Minns last week, flicking the ball onto Shah. This very similar from Hardman and gives Ben Blackmore all the time and space he needed to put that ball down, put it down comfortably, and means Rovers have this game sewn up now for me, Ben.
You could well be right there, Joe. A great effort it was by Blackmore to get that ball down. So that lead is stretched out now. An 18-point lead with a kick to come. Crusaders 12, Featherstone Rovers 30. Gareth Moore with another attempt. Tight to the touchline again. Not making goal kicking easy for Gareth Moore this afternoon. There is the kick. That one is successful. Moves Gareth Moore to within 3 of 100. Crusaders 12, Featherstone Rovers 32. As the Crusaders make another change. We're seeing the return of Joe Burke for the Crusaders. Rovers now at a 20-point lead. The fans might see some champagne rugby in the last 20 minutes as Rovers now will prepare for the entry of the big boys in the next round, Joe.
Yeah, definitely the case. Andy Ellis now come onto the field, so Remy Marginet playing in the halves, and who better to provide champagne rugby than the Frenchman?
So, here's Matt James now. So good inside pass towards Hardman. Able just to hold on to that ball. Ellis now. Rovers, you can see the attacking that Crusaders line so much easier now. Foster looking for a penalty. Marginet puts that high kick up. That's a great kick. It's a superb take though by Tommy Johnson. Probably Crusaders man of the match up to now, with scoring 2 tries. Not happy with the call there. And we are going to see a dropout here for the Crusaders. Tommy Johnson not happy with that decision, Joe.
No, it's a perfectly placed kick from Marginet. Johnson wasn't able to be inside his in-goal to take that, so he has to run it out, meaning that he doesn't get a tap on the 20. The Rovers defence forcing back, and it's a dropout for his side.
Baldwinson with that first drive makes full in 18-19 metres. Rovers starting this set 22 metres out. That's a great first drive. And Marginet out to that wing. It's an interception though for the Crusaders, and they're away. They're away down that left channel through Massam, but forced into touch. Great defence from Rovers. It was a great effort from the Crusaders through Rob Massam, attacking down that left hand side, but not able to get away. And great defence from Rovers. They want to keep this score down to 2 tries, Joe.
Crusaders there on the free play, race away down that left flank. Ian Hardman, fantastic tracking back, able to tackle the player to touch. Means it goes back to the scrum down for the Crusaders on their 20 metre. They're able to come out, they keep possession, but they've not been able to score the try.
It was a superb free play as well for the Crusaders. A great attack down that left-hand touchline. Just didn't quite have the speed, Rob Massam, to get away completely, to get over the line. But Crusaders will restart this set in possession on their own 20 metre line. And here is this set now. It's Stuart Reardon. And a penalty is given. Matt James involved in that tackle. And Dallimore finds touch. Just short of halfway now. That tap is taken. Nobody running there. Nobody on the run for the Crusaders on that first drive. So it has to be taken in himself. Here are the Crusaders though, working into that Rovers line now. They'd love another score at least to keep the scoreline respectable. Rovers will be looking to keep them down to the 2 tries. Ashall. That ball's put down again. So it is going to be a scrum down head and feed to Rovers. But I think the enthusiasm seems to have gone from the Crusaders, Joe. Lacking the ideas, lacking the enthusiasm at the moment, and Rovers in control of this match.
Yeah, I think heat may be becoming a factor in this game, starting to wear away at the Crusaders players, and when your body's tired, your head starts to go, and the difference in quality is starting to show. I didn't mean to rhyme there. Ian Hardman taking the ball in well.
Good first drive from Hardman. Andy Ellis from acting halfback moves that ball inside now. It's Mason Tonks is on for Rovers. That ball's come free, it's a penalty. Hand in the tackle, says Mr. Merrick. So Moore finds touch on that penalty, and Rovers will start 30 metres from the Crusaders line. Ellis takes that tap, finds Moore. Moore has to take the tackle himself. Baldwinson blocking that play off, you fancy. That ball's come free, and a knock on is given. Gareth Moore asking the question, saying that, how have I knocked that on? But it's not going to change the mind if the referee wants to call is given. And so Rovers bomb possession yet again on the first tackle.
been pleasing on the whole, this performance from the Rovers, but you look at some incidents and definitely not being able to maintain the ball for full sets has been an important part of the game where we'll need to improve in coming weeks. We'll come against stronger opposition than this, and we'll need to be more dominant when going forward with it. Make sure that we keep it under wraps.
Rovers, of course, with another long trip to make next week. Nice trip up to Cumbria from one end of the rugby league country to the other, from Wales to Cumbria. So Rovers will be pleased to be going up there with their away record intact. A comfortable victory here. And Crusaders, they're not happy with something. It's a good drive though from the Crusaders now into the Rovers half.
I wonder what odds we could get on Jesse Joe Parker scoring from acting halfback.
Carl Ashall not happy with something now. Dallimore through the hands it goes. That's worked out to that left hand channel. Joe bursts out laughing. Quite strange over the top of the head pass there from the Crusaders, knocked on by the recipient, and again the Crusaders turn possession over.
Just a ludicrous pass there. Not necessary. Not a player within a few metres of him. He had plenty of time to pass as would be expected. I don't know, perhaps trying to confuse the opposition. Certainly confused me on the sideline.
And me, it's a bit of a baffling passage of play, shall we say, there from the Crusaders.
And lulling us into a false sense of security.
Indeed. Here are Rovers though, in possession, just short of halfway now. A 20-point lead for Rovers. So Baldwinson into the Crusaders halfway goal now. Tackles in hand on the Crusaders line. Plays that ball to Ellis. Here's Tim Spears now. Able to turn in the tackle, but not able to get the pass away. That's good defence from the Crusaders. And a penalty. And we're going to see the return of Ryan Duffy for the Crusaders very shortly indeed. Gareth Moore organising it, takes that tap to Matt James. James plays the ball to Ellis. Here's Baldwinson now. He's been impressive again today as Baldwinson down in that front row for the Rovers. Ellis. Marginet out of the back door. Moore. Hardman takes on the line himself, Ian Hardman. That's good defence from the Crusaders to hold Hardman up. A metre short. Ellis on the bounce to Gareth Moore. Moore not able to get away, so momentum lost on that occasion. The ball's come free. A knock-on is given again. But a knock-on is given and a penalty is given for dissent as well. Rovers players not happy with that decision as an interchange is made. I would see Jack Bussey returning, and another great performance from Jordan Baldwinson. He takes another well-earned breather.
Yeah, Baldwinson putting a fantastic stint again here today. He's playing huge minutes and getting a well-deserved rest here today. The game's wrapped up, so why not give the lad some time to kick his shoes up, take his boots off and watch the game in some nice peace and quiet, knowing his work is done today. It's been boiling out there, time for the other lads to take a stint, and they're going to do it with ball in hand because the Crusaders have not gone there on halfway. Featherstone are going to have the ball yet again.
Ryan Duffy has been reintroduced for the Crusaders.
Duffy taking that boot of the ball to the head just before he went off last time. He's soldiering on though. Could we score another try before the end of the game? Give us something to cheer. It
would be nice. A 20-point lead, I think to be fair, Andy Hale will be very, very happy with this performance from the Rovers today. Some poor execution in the first half despite the 3 tries scored. Seem to have tightened up when they've been in possession And here's Hitchcock's now. Sorry. Blackmore it was, sorry, my apologies. The way he danced inside was very reminiscent of Hitchcock's. Here's Moore now though. Shows it twice and then finds Marginet. Marginet to Mason Tonks. Mason Tonks to Ian Hardman. Great play from Rovers, but once again, Hardman held up meters short. Ellis finds Moore, or at Marginet, sorry, James. Now Moore. Now Busty. Moore again. This is superb from Rovers. Are they over in the corner again? Held up. They're over. Rovers are over again. Can't see who the try scorer is from here. Alice Foster, I think. Superb passage of play though, Joe. A move flowing through all the Rovers team across that line, culminating in Alice Foster getting that ball down. And that is a try of real quality team try.
Well, Marginet's there at first receiver, moves the ball out wide to Moore. He gets the ball back after sending it away the first time. So you've got your champagne rugby, but you've got your English sparkling wine as well. And then he gets the ball away to Foster and does brilliantly to get the ball down there on that right-hand side. Can he add the conversion now?
Jai Hitchcock is on the bench. I didn't realise he'd left the field. I fancy that means Hardman will drop to full-back. Here's the kick from Moore. That one's successful.
Marginet and Moore there going into the halves while Hardman drops back to full-back, meaning that Paul Sykes goes to the centre position. To me, that's the preferred position for Paul Sykes when other halves are available.
Well, Rovers there with a great experience in here and Hardman at full-back. Just what you want. I mean, Joe called it. We said we'd like another try. We've got one more. Let's see if we can break that 40-point mark now. Both of these teams with tough away trips next week. Crusaders have got a trip to make to the Keighley Cougars. And Rovers with a trip up to Cumbria to face a Whitehaven team who are having a very mixed season at the moment. But Rovers are away again down that right side. It's great play from Rovers and Alex Foster. Marginet. Moore. Hardman now. On the bounce to Will Sharp, able to spin away. But great defence from the Crusaders. Mins from Acton half finds Moore. Moore with a kick for the sticks. That's too deep, it's taken in the in-goal area. So that'll be a tap restart on the 20.
Yeah, chip over the top there, taken easily by Dally Moore, and he takes the tap on the 20, gets his side out to the 30, but we can try those kind of chips over the top now. We've got the game in the bag, so it's time to experiment.
Crusaders then just short of halfway now. That's a good drive in by the big forwards. Working up to halfway. Ashaw waits, he moves that ball to the right hand side, through the hands it comes. Attacking down this right channel. It's Ian Mort. It does really well to stay in the field of play, does Mort. Through the hands it goes now. It's a big forward. Ryan Duffy takes the last play. Rovers are through. It's been an excellent performance from this Rovers team this afternoon. A dominant performance in the first half. First half tries from Gareth Moore, Andy Ellis and Will Sharp. In between those tries came a try from Dollymore converted by Johnson. That gave Rovers a 16-6 lead at half time. Second half tries for Rovers from Johnson. From Crusaders from Johnson to get the lead back within 4 points. Rovers then pulled away for tries from Blackmore, made to Blackmore again and Foster. 3 out of those 4 tries converted by Gareth Moore, who creeps closer to the 100 goals in career. Joe, I think the best word for that, professional performance.
Yeah, it definitely was. North Wales were well up for that, particularly in the second half. They really came out as they were very determined, but we knew our time would come. We made sure we put out some committed defence, particularly when we were working them out to touch on that right side of the Rovers defence. When we were really up against it, and then when we had the ball, we brought it upfield and we were much more composed, attacking their line in the second half. Was why we were able to get over the line so many times and score those tries.
Man of the match?
Man of the match is a difficult one. Jordan Baldwinson, like you say, is a real favourite here on Rovers TV, and he was fantastic today, particularly with his work rate, like he always is. I think it's going to have to go to Will Sharp, though. Just that finish in the corner, there's something magical about that man when he's running in and provided what looked like an impossible finish. He gets through so much work rate, taking it off the forwards, which is what we need when we're low on props. Exactly what you want from your wingers.
Rovers able to maintain the 100% away record this season. Haven't lost away since going back to the back end of last year. Something they can build on is this away record, try and get transferred to home results now.
It definitely is. Once you're going away from home and you're getting the results, perhaps there's less pressure on in front of your home fans, but in the newly renovated Big Fella Stadium, you'd hope to turn that into a fortress. We have had some of the bigger sides visit, so maybe that visit of Workington, we can put a big score on them and really set us going with our home form.
A different type of challenge coming up next week. Back in the league up at Whitehaven, trying to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, absolutely. Whitehaven, they take the ball out wide. We know they've got danger men out there. Jesse Joe Parker always going over against us. Former Rovers player Tom Carr is a big part of the Whitehaven game. You all right, Jamie? Jamie got a call to the right of us. And yeah, I've completely lost my track of thought, but big visit to Whitehaven. Yeah, long coach journey. Got to make sure you don't get distracted. Make sure you go there and do the job, Ben.
So full time here at the University Stadium in Wrexham. The Rovers are through to the 5th round. Bringing on the big boys. It's North Wales Crusaders 12, Featherstone Rovers 38. North Wales Crusaders 12, Featherstone Rovers 38. Andy, your thoughts on the match, please?
Yeah, pleased to get the win. I thought we were good in parts, but scrappy in parts, and disappointed with their 2 tries. And our goal line defence needs to improve, and but overall we're in the next round, and that's the objective.
16-6 lead at half time, but you put down other opportunities. Well, that must be disappointing for you.
It was, yeah. I think the disappointing thing was their 6 points where they didn't really get into our half, and when they did, they managed to score a try. So defensively we need to do a bit of work there, but the points we scored, finished some nice tries. I thought Minzy showed some real pace there to strip him on the outside and score a nice try, and then Andy Ellis backing up in support, and also we did put some ball down. Some of our execution needs to be better.
Starting to see a bit of continuity in the team now, some more confidence in the players when they're going forward, especially.
I think so. We've still got a bit to do. We're sticking with a similar team, and what they're doing is they're getting a better combinations there. And I thought again, Rennie did a good stint for us today, 60 minutes, 65 minutes, and looked sharp in there and put some good defence in as well. And, I thought Sykesy and Gazmore linking up a little bit better again, and Gazmore's kicking game was good.
Will Sharp, a superb try over in the corner as well, and those back 3 are really starting to come into their own, aren't they?
Yeah, we've got, I think our backfield have been very consistent, along with probably Baldy, and I think those 3 have been the most consistent players in the last month or so, and they're doing really well for us, and they're making a lot of meters, and they're there to finish tries. Blackmore last week and Sharp this week, and you know what you're going to get from Sharpie every week, and I thought he's been, for his standards, quiet for the last couple of weeks, so there's more to come from.
How pleased are you with the form of the front 3 as well, especially Baldwinson,
and Matt James back in today for Andy Bostock.
Yeah, I thought Baldy, he's been giving us, same week in week out. He's very consistent with what he does. I thought Jamesy was a lot better today after his week off last week, and I thought Tim Spears had one of his best games he's had for us all year. So there's some good players in there and some good players to come back as well. So they need to play well.
In the hat for the next round, do you have a preference as to where you would like to go or who you'd like to play?
Not really. We're in there, and that's what we wanted. We'll take whoever comes, and it'll be nice to get a big game either at home or away. But get a big game there, and get some fans down to Post Office Road, or have a good game away and get some fans over there. So the fans were good today, and they were very vocal, and the boys appreciate that. Any
injury news from today's match?
No, we took Jai off as a precaution. He got hurt, not hurt, but his groin was sore in the first half. So. We took him as a precaution, but everyone else was fine.
Looking ahead next week, it's back to the business of the league and a long trip up to Whitehaven.
Yeah, we've done it once already this year in the cup, and we had quite a good formula, even though it was a later kick-off. So we're prepared for that trip, and they've changed the team a little bit. Brett Seymour's gone, and two front rowers from Lee have come in, so it'll be a different side, and we'll have to have a look at the game and have a look at their videos from the last couple of weeks and see what we need to do to play them.
Are we starting to see some consistency in the play now, some more confidence in the plays that we're using?
A little bit. I thought again we were scrappy today, so some stuff's working all right. We need to be more direct. I thought the halves were playing a little bit lateral, and we were trying to pass around them, and it doesn't work. You've got to go through teams and cause them problems and be direct. And when we get that, because in training we got it, and at the start of the game we probably got it, and then we drifted off. So there's still a bit of work to do, but the players are getting there. More time they have on the field and more time they have together in training, the better we'll become.
Can you give us updates on the other players that are injured? Paul Wood, for example.
Paul Wood's obviously still recovering from his foot, so he's probably got another 3-4 weeks left before he's fit, and everybody else I think is almost there. Matty Nicholson's obviously out probably for the year with his ACL, and I'm not sure who else we're looking at really.
Cording.
Jamie Cording and Sam Irwin both hurt the biceps last week, so we're looking at them probably maybe next week. I think Jamie possibly next week, maybe Sam the week after.
Andy, thanks for your time.
No worries, thank you.